As I've been streaming the new Spacetime Smackdown, I keep getting asked the question, which pack should I be opening, Jake? Palkia or Dialga? And I do think it's not as cut and dry as one is clearly the best. I'll give you an overall recommendation at the end of this video, but I want to go over which pack is good for what kind of player. Of course, with anything, if there is a specific card you are chasing, that is probably the pack you need to be opening. I know a lot of people are freaking out about Darkrai, so if that is the case, you need to be opening Dialga. Even though if you're anything like me, your luck with opening Dialga is not so great. So let me talk about the Dialga set here, because there's some really cool cards that are inside it. Yanmega EX feels like a really strong card. It is colorless, 3 colorless energy, and you are able to attack for really solid damage. I think you could slot this into a lot of decks, which is cool. It also has Shaman, allowing you to heal your entire team. And now there are more things that kind of damage you team-wide, so this could be a really fun card. It also has Leafeon, which I've not seen a lot of people build yet, but could be quite fun. Pachirisu EX is also in this set, as well as the entire sort of Volkner line and setup. You've got the supporter card, Volkner, as well as the Luxray and Electivire that both play with it. A really fun line, and I'd love to see this added to some lightning type decks. There's also some really good fighting love in this, where you get the new Gardevoir line, or I guess I should say the Gallade line with the new Ralts and Kirlia. You also have Lucario in this set, which is massive. If you love playing fighting decks, Lucario is like a godsend. It's amazing. Its ability just gives you an additional 20 damage with any of your fighting cards that are dealing damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Of course, earlier I mentioned it, Darkrai EX is in this set, but interestingly enough, Dark is kind of split between these two packs, but if you're looking for Darkrai, yeah, you gotta be here. And then of course, this also has Dialga EX. I think this card is amazing. It sets up incredible options for you to ramp up energy for your team. I just absolutely love it. Really powerful, and I've already made some cool decks with it, even though I've only drawn one. By the way, I drew that in the Palkia set, okay? It was a crown rare Dialga in the other set. I don't want to get into it. I think one of the biggest cards in this set, no question, is Pokemon Communication. This card is amazing. Now, if you are not pulling Dialga, this is a great card to craft in the game. Just if you're pulling everything in Palkia, but you still want one of the best cards in the game, you want to craft this. It's insanely good. I have won so many games because I've had the ability to switch out something not so useful in my hand for something I am either almost sure or 100% sure will be drawn if I use this card. If you don't know what it does yet, you could take a Pokemon in your hand and swap it for one at random in your deck. So if you're looking for that stage 2 and you have all your stage 1s in your hand, you simply throw it out there. Your stage 1 goes back into your deck. The only thing left in your deck are those stage 2s, and then make it to your hand. Amazing. This also has the Tool Giant Cape, which is extremely good, and it has Dawn. Dawn is insanely good. Supporter-wise, I feel like Dialga is kind of crushing it. So if you're looking for those, this is a great place to find them. However, again, this is where you craft, in my opinion. Now for the pros of the Palkia set, which is really cool. This has all 3 of the starters that you'd be looking for. It has Torterra, Empoleon, but most importantly, Infernape EX. I was playing Infernape EX on stream today, and I think this card is so freaking good. My video for it is probably out right now. Its combination with Dawn and Moltres is just amazing. So if you're a fire type fan, this is definitely the set for you. Also, water type fans, this has Manaphy and Palkia. Manaphy and Palkia are crazy. Manaphy, just by itself, able to put 2 water energy onto your bench, right? One on 2 separate Pokemon, amazing. And Palkia is so strong, so good. Yeah, if you haven't seen my Palkia Manaphy video, holy, what a combo. And now I mentioned Dark was split up here, so there are some cards they share, but for Weavile EX and Spiritomb, you've got to be drawing from Palkia. So unfortunately, if you want to make a Darkrai Weavile deck, you're going to be bouncing back and forth. I didn't get, actually, I think any of them when I was drawing. So There you go. Palkia is also the only place you're going to be able to get the new dragon, Garchomp, as well as Cynthia, which combos with it. Also, Cynthia combos with Togekiss. Now, Togekiss can be found in either pack, but you would not have Cynthia unless you were either pulling from the Palkia pack set or you were using your pack points to craft Cynthia. There are also good normal types in this set. There's Licky Licky, there's Staraptor, so there's some good options that can flex into a lot of different decks. For support cards, this has Rocky Helm, it has Mars, I think most importantly, it has Cyrus. So I think the two maybe best cards in the set, in this new set, again, it's still very early, but it feels like Cyrus insanely good, Pokemon Communication maybe the best, I'm not sure. There are also some really great cards. I think Dawn is incredible, but it feels to me like Cyrus and Pokemon Communication maybe the two best cards in the set, and of course, they're in two different packs. I should mention this also has Giratina, so if you're looking to make Giratina with the Lake Spirits, it is here. It sounds like a band name, Giratina and the Lake Spirits. However, I will say, I can't really, I want to play it more. It feels like the Lake Spirits are kind of underwhelming and insanely hard to pull off. When you do, it's really cool, and you do a ton of damage, but boy, they all have such little HP, and you need a lot of things to go right to get them online, so yeah, I'm not sure if that will actually be something that will be super useful, but I would love to see some really cool decks with it regardless. So when you're looking at these two packs here, I feel like they favor two different types of energy, right? For Dialga, I think they have really amazing cards for grass decks. You have a little bit of that in Palkia. I think they have great cards for lightning decks, great cards for fighting decks, and of course, amazing cards for metal decks. Now, just like I was mentioning earlier, there is an interesting split where good dark cards are in both packs, but if you are looking for Darkrai, that is only in Dialga. And then if you look over at the Palkia set, you've got some great options here as well. This feels really good for fire type decks. It also feels quite good for water type. Obviously, it has Manaphy. It also has Palkia, which is just crazy good. Pretty good for your psychic decks as well. However, the new Routes Kirlia line is in Dialga because it evolves into Gallade, which is a fighting type, right? This is pretty good for Dark because it has Weavile, it has Spirit Tomb, and it's good for Dragon. It's the only thing helping Dragon in this set. And it actually is pretty good for colorless type decks, which is very solid, right? Because they can slot into a lot of different decks, and I think that's really one of their biggest advantages is you can build tons of different ways with these cards. So again, personal preference and the cards that you're specifically chasing are obviously going to trump everything, right? So if you only care about Palkia, I mean, there's a pretty good place that you can find it. If you only care about Dialga, you'll probably find it in Dialga unless you're as unlucky as I am and you'll find it somehow in Palkia. But that being said, your personal chase card obviously is your number one concern. After that, I think you could look at cards that work well for deck types that you like. Again, I listed those earlier a little bit, right? And then finally after that, I think you can also make some of your decisions based on what supporter cards you're going to want to pull and you don't want to deal with crafting. I think the better supporter cards are probably in Dialga. Again, it has Pokemon Communication. It also has Dawn. It has the Cape, which I think is really good. While there are good supporter cards in both, I think there are better supporter cards in Dialga. I don't think there's any good way to just say this is what you should be pulling. It's completely based on the way you are playing. It is completely based on what you are looking for. But if I were looking for a pack to pull from that I thought was generally better for everything, kinda, I think it might be Dialga for the supporters. I also think it could be Palkia for good supporters, great cards, and I mean, a really good colorless selection. Dang, it's so tough. Honestly, it's so tough, guys. Let me know what you went with in the comments. I would probably say Dialga, but again, please make your decision based on the cards that you are looking for and the types that you like to play. I think that is my biggest recommendation to you. Make your decision based on the types that you play and how these cards are going to help you. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, everybody. I hope this video was helpful. Love you guys. See you next time. We did it.